business focused, treating your blog as a business, or using a blog to market your business. It's a slight difference. Do you guys get the difference between the two? One's blogging as a business, one's blogging for your business. Okay, so Iman Aghay, he's an amazing fellow. He's from Iran originally. He immigrated here. He has an amazing story. He just was broke, and then he had no money, and he ended up starting these really successful businesses. He runs something called the Marketing Mastery Summit. He has Success Road Academy. He does all these webinars, and he does more things than I can remember. A lot of stuff. But it's an amazing success story of an immigrant who didn't just say, "It's so hard, I can't make it here." He found a way to make it. So, really proud of you, Iman. So Iman's going to be sharing about how to turn your blog into business. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay. So, Ricky asked the question that I wanted to ask. So, thank you for stealing my line. Now, I know that two of you right now are running your blog as a business, right? But then how many of you really want to turn your blog into a business, or have a business that in a way you are serving other people, you're helping other people, you know that you have something that you can change other people's lives?
Oh, yes.
And you want to go out and make their life, change their life, but you want to be able to afford it to do that. So you want to build a business out of changing other people's lives. Now, if you are interested, just raise your hand. Okay. Now, here is an interesting thing. In business, there is something called a client magnet. Okay. Now, that's the biggest challenge of every single business owners out there that they're running business. Why? The biggest problem that business owners have is attracting clients to themselves, right? So, on your side, you have a very good advantage, because what are you doing with your blog? You're attracting clients, okay? Why? Because you're talking about your passion, you're talking about the change that you want to make in other people's lives, and you're attracting a lot of people to yourself. But why isn't your blog a business, or why aren't you really running it as a business? It's because you don't know how to turn them into clients. So in fact, there are two groups of people who are struggling. One side are struggling with attracting clients. The other side have the clients, but they don't know how to use them, so how to use their blogs as clients, as a client magnet, right? So what I teach entrepreneurs is how to do this side. I tell them, okay, come and create a client magnet for yourself, right? And when I talk to bloggers or YouTube marketers or people who have a client magnet, I tell them, okay, come on, you have to have this side. You cannot just have one side and expect the other side to work. Okay? So generally, if you want to build a business, especially if you are a person who wants to make a positive difference in other people's lives, businesses, or environment. Okay? So the first thing that you need to know, you need to build your business as a leader. Okay? So what makes you a leader? Does anybody know?
People following you.
Followers. A person cannot be a leader without a follower. And technically, any person can be a leader as long as they have followers, right? Here is the thing. You are in the perfect place to be a leader. Why? Because you already have followers. Okay? So, what are the characteristics of a good leader? A good leader, number one.
Good looking.
Not necessarily. I'm not sure if Mahatma Gandhi was a good-looking person. but
Good throwback. Good
thanks.
one.
But the number one thing that they know is they know themselves. You don't want to follow a leader that doesn't know himself or herself. You don't want to follow a leader that doesn't know what he is fighting for, or what he's fighting against, or what his message is. Good leaders know themselves, know what change they can make in other people's lives, businesses, and environment, and they know their message. Okay? Now, if you know that, and if you have a message, then your message starts attracting the right type of clients to you. And when you start attracting the right type of clients to yourself, have you seen people get really frustrated with their clients? You know why? Their message does not communicate their own values. So they attract the wrong type of clients. And when you attract the wrong type of clients, you get frustrated with those people who you are attracting. Right? So the first thing is understanding what your values are and put them correctly in the message that you are communicating. But there is a second thing. The second thing is having a way to turn your followers from interested into invested. You have all this group of people who are following you and are really interested in the change that you are making in their lives. But if they don't invest on themselves to work with you, and remember how I'm making the sentence. I'm not saying if they don't pay you. Because if you are a leader, it's not about they paying you. If you are working as a leader, they are investing on themselves to work with you. They see working with you not as a cost, not as a payment, but as an investment on themselves. Okay? Make sense? Right? So, if you get people, if you have to learn how to turn people from interested into invested. How do people turn from interested into invested? One of the main criteria there is something that is called an irresistible offer. Okay? Now I usually teach something about cheap and expensive. Okay? How many of you think something that is cheap has a low price and something that is expensive has high price? Okay.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
It depends on the value.
Exactly. Exactly. The word cheap and the word expensive are not about the price. The word cheap and expensive come from the correlation between value and the price. Now let me give you an example. Mercedes-Benz E350 AMG is $75,000 car. Okay? It's a nice car. It's a $75,000 car. 2 days from now, Mercedes announces that for the next 48 hours, they are willing to sell this car for $50,000. Do you think that car is a cheap car or expensive car at that moment, during that 48 hours? It's a still expensive car. Okay, let me give you another example. If I give you a property, 3,000 square feet, in Vancouver West Side, for $200,000, is it a cheap home or is it an expensive home?
Cheap.
It's a very cheap home, but it's $200,000. Now, you go to the newsstand and you pick up a gum and you go to pay for it and the person says $10. Is it expensive or cheap?
Expensive.
So $10 is expensive and $200,000 is cheap. Because it's not about the $200,000 and it's not about the $10. It's about the relationship between the value and the price. Okay? Now, how to create an irresistible offer? An irresistible offer is an offer that has extremely high value and a low price. And a lower price than the value, not necessarily $200,000 is not a low price, you see? But it's lower than the value. So if you create a high value and put a price lower than the value, you are cheap. You're selling something that is inexpensive. If you sell something that has low value and the price is higher, then it's expensive. And if you put them beside each other, it's a fair price. How do you create an irresistible offer? Something with high value and lower price. Doesn't mean that it's cheap price, or it doesn't mean that, for example, $10 price. Okay? Here's the funny thing. Yesterday I was showing my students the difference between people buying stuff, right? I have a webinar, 3-day webinar that's happening tomorrow, and we have a VIP upgrade for it, right? And then we have two versions of it. $67 upgrade and the $97 upgrade. Which one do you think people bought more? $97 one. They bought the $97 one 3 times more than the $67 one. In fact, when a person bought the $67 one for the first time, I said, oh crap, You know why?
Because it's the same?
No, because I put the $67 one so nobody buys it and everybody buys the $97 one. Because the $67 one was showing how much the $97 one has value. And when the person bought it, I'm like, oh crap, I had to put it 77. So everybody ends up buying $97 one. Because I was showing the value of the $97 one. And $97 one is extremely higher value. Like it's like, in fact, one of the people who bought the $97 one has already made about, I would say about $12,000 from just upgrading to $97 one, right? Because we give access to speakers. And then he kind of called every speaker and networked with them, you know? So you see the value, like what the value is, right? So we buy, every single one of us in this room buy based on value. Now, the challenge is that most business owners and most people don't know how to create the value. Everybody asks, okay, how can I create a higher value? Okay? And there are 9 things that you can include into a value, but I cannot talk about it tonight because it's like 1.5 hour talk. Okay?
No, that cost us $97, doesn't it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. Okay? So that's the second thing, right? The first thing is having something that, knowing yourself. The second thing is knowing how to turn people from interested into invested, right? The third thing is having a system, okay? How many of you have heard of John Chow? He's the #1 online marketing blogger in Canada, right? What he has that most bloggers don't have is a system, okay? Why? John knows exactly from every single person who lands on his website how much money he makes. Why? Because he has a system. He knows exactly from every 100 people who land on his website, 65 of them download his ebook. He knows from every 65 people who download his ebook, 40 people buy a $47 product. And he knows from every $40 who buy his $47 product, 25 of them upgrade to a $2,000 product. How does he know that? Because he has a system. And when you have a system, you can measure. And when you can measure, you can optimize. But the challenge with everybody is they don't have a system, so they can't measure, so they can't optimize, so they don't know how to grow their business. If John didn't have this system in the first place, he didn't know how much he makes from every visitor. If you don't know how much you make from every visitor, how do you know that how you can improve it? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the first step?
Know yourself.
Know yourself. Second step,
Change from interested to invested.
having an irresistible offer and change them from interested into invested. Third step,
Have a system.
have a system. Fourth step, get people to promote you. Get promotional partners. When you have something that you are making money, there are lots of other people who have that client magnets and they are magnetizing clients, but they don't know, they don't have your knowledge. They don't have your knowledge of building business, right? So what happens at the end? Well, they can't make money. Can you help them to make money and help more people? Yeah, because you have the system. So you go get promotional partners and get those people to promote you so you can help more people, both from the promotional partner side and the client side. Okay? And the sixth step is automation. The fifth step is promotional partners. And the sixth is automation. Automate this process. Do you remember when I talked about John? Right? Do you think he is sitting there and sending emails to people himself? No. It's just entirely automated system. He had 107,000 downloads of his ebook in May. Do you think he sat there and sent 107,000 ebooks to people? No. No. Right? It just doesn't work like that. So he has automated, but he had the system. He knows how to convert people from interested into invested. Now, he can go and automate. Okay? Now, this model that I talked to you about, this is the model that I teach, right, in a 2-day seminar. And maybe some of you have heard of that seminar, some of you may have attended. I know that 2 of you have attended before. And that seminar is called Marketing Mastery Summit. Okay? I've been running Marketing Mastery Summit since 2011. And next weekend, I'm running the last Marketing Mastery Summit. The reason for that is because we are taking Marketing Mastery Summit from front of our business and taking it inside the business. Okay? So right now it's at the front of my business. Do you remember about the system? The system has upside down, like it's a funnel. So it has a beginning and then the next level, right? So Marketing Mastery Summit used to be the front of my business for the past 3 years. But then based on the feedback that we got from audience, they were like, this is so valuable, you shouldn't really put it in front of your funnel, just take it inside your business. So next weekend is the last time that we are making Marketing Mastery Summit available to the market, to the public. I was talking to Ricky, and with Ricky we decided that we give 10 tickets to Marketing Mastery Summit to Ricky's group, to bloggers who want to make a positive difference in other people's lives and want to go out and learn. Want to go out and learn how to build a successful business and go and implement it for themselves. Okay? The ticket price of the summit is $997. So the value, but I'm giving this to you as a gift. Okay? So you're registered. So if you want to attend the event, okay, you can attend the event as the gift. Okay? There's no payment. But everything that is free comes with a
Price.
catch. What's the catch? This is a $1,000 event, okay? And people pay $1,000 to go to that event. So, when you register a seat, we are going to keep that seat and we are not going to sell it. We're going to order coffee and muffin for you, and we are ordering material for you. Okay? Every person who comes to the summit gets a 40-page binder. That binder is the system of building your business. You work on building your business entirely. So you walk out with a 60-day action plan at the end of the 2 days. Okay? So we are preparing all of that for you, right? And then that day morning, you wake up and you're like, no, I don't want to go, I'm tired, I want to sleep. You go back to bed, right? That's not fair to me. That's not fair to other people who are coming to that room. Everybody agree with that? Yes. So, if you reserve your seat and you simply that day wake up and don't show up, you're going to charge you $100, which is the price of your coffee muffin and your binder. Okay? But if you show up at the event, we won't charge your credit cards. There's no nothing. There's no charge to anything. Okay? So that's a gift for people who want to respect it. $400 for people who don't respect it. If you realize that you need to cancel your ticket, on the forms it says it has a 2 weeks cancellation notice. You don't need 2 weeks. Just let me on Wednesday, because Wednesday is the time that we order everything. Okay, Wednesday next week. If you let me know by Wednesday next week, we can cancel it and there is no problem, not a problem. We used to say we can postpone it for the next event, but there is no next event anymore. Okay, so it's either next weekend or it's never. Well, not that there is no never. It's going to turn into $2,000 ticket, right? And it's going to and there's going to be no free gifts anymore. Okay, so that's the way that it's going to turn. Anyhow, I have the forms here. I'm going to pass the forms to you. You can pick up the form if you want to attend, but I need you to fill in the form and give it back to me during the break. The reason for that is because tomorrow I'm going to be sitting in front of camera for 6 hours. Tomorrow on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm doing a webinar series called Experts Marketing Mastery. And exactly what Christina was saying, I can totally understand that because for the next 3 days, I'm going to be sitting in front of 3 big projectors with a white big background. and headset on my head, and I'm going to interview 9 most successful business owners in the world, where they are sharing their information. So if you want to get to Experts Marketing Mastery, you can go to expertsmarketingmastery.com and register for free. If you want, you can upgrade to VIP, that's the difference to me, okay? But fill in these forms and give them back to me by end of the break, because I have to leave by 7:30, okay?
Iman, I would like just to let everybody know, I've attended 2 of them, and it's highly, highly valuable, and he doesn't pay me to say this. You land up getting a whole bunch of information, and if you act on it, your business just takes off. And having that manual is so valuable because it's so doable. So he's outlined absolutely everything, and I really highly recommend it. It's a very, very good program.
Thank you, Joanna. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Ricky.
Thanks,
for
Iman.
the time.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
No, I'm physically not here.
Who learned something from that talk from Iman?